on this. Yeah, so that's recording.
Okay.
So everything's ready.
Yay!
Yay! Got a little microphone here, which no one can see. Like, also the bloody leg.
Oh no!
Somewhere in the suitcase.
Yeah, it's 2 legs now. It's like a little person.
So it's fine. I can just be like,
It's kind of cute.
just be like that. I have a little face
So
on.
fun. Yeah, you should. Like I'm now looking. Yeah.
You could. I've still got 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, great. We're still early.
Yeah, we just set up somewhere else.
Yeah, I know. This is great. Yeah, let's see.
Shall I have my hair? I'll just
Yeah. Actually, if you have anything to put it back. If not, I have a clip.
Okay.
Clips and a mirror so you can look if you want.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, what do you think we should do? I have a couple of ideas of if I were to just freestyle. And
Oh, freestyle, sort of.
You think?
I was thinking about what you were saying last time about how, sometimes you get such a tight brief.
Yeah.
And I was thinking of Pinteresting, but I was like, what, you're so creative.
Yeah, we'll just freestyle it. It's honestly fun. I've been planning so many of the looks out for the project that it's honestly really nice to just have open creativity.
Yeah. Oh, I should start it.
Yeah.
Just when we're starting, there's like a fire. Not
A siren.
a siren, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you mind if I do a time lapse too?
Yeah, that'd be cool. Hello, my microphone is off. It is not switching on. Aha, hello, Bushra here. Yeah, I'm with Abby Wren, makeup artist. We're actually on Twitch as well, if anybody wants to see us there, but I'm recording this, so I can post it later.
Yeah.
So my name's Bushra, and I've been in the immersive space for a while, and most recently moved into the Web3 space, creating a platform for other creatives to show their work. And I'm with Abby, who's this amazing makeup artist with a new NFT collection, and we're both here in LA.
Yay, you're here. I can't believe you're finally here. Yeah, this worked out so well. I live in LA, but you had to travel quite a ways to be here. So I'm so glad you did.
Where do we start? We actually had a conversation a couple of weeks ago as well. And this is funny because it's on Twitter and nobody can see the video, but I can kind of describe it while we go. But first of all, do you want to say a little bit about yourself?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, I'm Abby Wren. I am a professional makeup artist and alopecia advocate, an entrepreneur, kind of have my hands in a lot right now.
You have a production company, you were saying.
Yes.
You're about to produce a show or what?
Yeah, so my partner Wade and I run a creative house and production company here in Los Angeles, as well as my brand Renegade, which is also the name of our NFT project that we just launched. There's a lot going on basically, but my background is in makeup artistry. So for a long time, that's kind of where everything started. I worked in fashion and runway, doing editorial makeup, creative makeup, everything really under the sun. If it was makeup related, I was doing it. But now I live in Los Angeles and I talk a lot about alopecia advocacy, hair loss, awareness, and I'm really building a space with Renegade to create more awareness about bald women in media in general, but especially within the beauty industry. So that's the whole point of what we're building with Renegade, and just bringing awesome women together, just like today.
It really opens up how, and it's not really, beauty is the wrong word, isn't it? it's such a narrow viewpopoint within fashion and the makeup industry, and actually the way that you play with makeup as well. It's totally about expression.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, it's much less about, I think the way a lot of people view makeup in general, which is a little bit more of a vanity metric. It's a little bit more of a tool to improve or change your physical appearance.
Sometimes when you say vanity, I think it's an insecurity metric, because it's like judgmental.
Sure, and everyone has a different relationship with it, right? But I think for a lot of people, makeup has always been something to kind of enhance your appearance. And my personal relationship with it is actually to really get creative and to use it as a form of self-expression and really just art in general.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got a listener. Hello, Prabha.
Hello. Welcome.
So we're going to do makeup on me, and I love having makeup done on me and my hair done and things like that, because I really feel like it's a bonding experience. Yeah. It's like someone's caressing your face. It's like massaging your face.
Yeah, totally. It totally is. Yeah. I agree. I had long hair when I was growing up, and my mom always braided, and that was like the most relaxing time ever. But now that I'm bald, makeup is that kind of just intimate time where I get to get creative and just play. Yeah, so I'm excited. We're gonna jump right in. Should we start?
Yeah, can you talk and do makeup at the same time?
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
You're a woman, right?
Doing it for years. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. What I was thinking was about, talking about this, like caressing your face, and because the brushes are so soft.
Yeah.
But there should be something, a crossover of like, makeup brushes being massaged for your face as well.
I like that.
Why don't you do it?
Okay. Sure.
I'm just gonna shut this.
Yeah, sure.
And we were talking as well last time about that's something I really remember about my mum doing my hair every night, because in Bangladesh, this is when we came over to the UK, but culturally there's a whole thing about beauty in your hair and having really thick hair, and about plaiting your hair as well every night. So I think that's kind of an interesting thing, how it generationally it forms.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Hair is one of those. It's one of
Do
those.
You know, you're talking about when you say you've got alopecia, because I'm quite hairy. My face is quite hairy because I'm, from Indian subculture.
Yeah.
So I'm on the other end of the spectrum where I feel embarrassed about.
You're trying to get rid of it.
I'm trying to get rid of it. My unibrow. I'm trying to get rid of it.
Literally, that's a perfect segue about what I was just going to get into, because hair is one of those things that, like, for some people, it's very, very, sensitive, and they're always trying to add more on and adding extensions or dyeing, and it's very personal for everyone in general. But some people want to get more hair, and other people are just trying to constantly shave it off or keep it away. So it's one of those things that it's really complicated. I don't think you can really even talk about hair in like a singular way, because everyone has such a different experience with it, right?
Yeah.
Like for you grew up trying to kind of conceal it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, God, I said boys make fun of me, it was that kind of thing. Like, where do I even start? Abby, I don't know.
Let's get into it. I love it. I love when you're vulnerable and share the experience, because it's not easy to do, so no pressure, but I relate very much to that. Everyone has a different experience with it.
Okay, so because I grew up in quite predominantly white areas, and I lived up north in a place called Southport, it's near Liverpool. It's a seaside town.
Oh, okay.
And when I was at primary school, there was actually a boy called, what was he called? Something like, he had a really funny name like Michael Jackson. Okay, that was I can't remember now properly, but he was white. And he used to make fun of me all the time. And at sports days, like, oh, you got really hairy legs. And then he turned around and he was like, but you will share all your water with me because I'm really special to you, aren't I? I was like, what?
No.
You're the kid who makes fun of me all the time. Yeah. But I think boys are very silly, aren't they? The ones who make the most fun of you think that.
Yeah, true. And also, especially young, like before they know anything at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I'm sorry that happened to you. First of all, that's so disheartening. That sucks,
I used to say something more than that. It'd be like, my daughter's here sitting over there. She's only 9, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when your hair fell out first, you were a teenager in a small town.
Yeah, very small. Maybe 2,000 people, probably. Really quite small. But yeah, when I lost my hair initially, I was just entering high school. So 9th grade, I was turning 15 years old when I noticed it falling out. And it was just a wild experience. It's very scary. I thought something was wrong with me, health wise. I was concerned that something was really not right. And I went to all these specialists, all these doctors to try and figure out what was the cause of it. But yeah, it just kind of persisted, and we went to we went to lots of different specialists, and they weren't able to really give us any answer except for the fact that it was alopecia. This is what it is. And they just said to be aware of the fact that it could come and go, that there was no real cure for it. This is an autoimmune disease. This is what's happening to you. So I was completely clueless about what to do next. And thankfully, my mom at the time, she's a registered nurse. So she jumped into mom mode and was like, we're going to figure this out. We're going to, figure out what to do. And she went to great lengths to do all this research and really just learn about alopecia. And we learned, unfortunately, there's no cure for it. So it just kind of changes and evolves over time. And for some people, it grows back no problem in a year or two. And for other people, they lose their hair one time and it never grows back. So it's all across the board.
And is it genetic at all? Did you have other members of the family who have reacted in that way?
So
their immune system reacted?
Yeah, so for a lot of people, it is genetic actually, but for some reason, there's no history in my family history. So I'm not sure for me where it comes from. We have no idea. But for a lot of people, like if I had a daughter, it could be definitely passed down.
Okay.
So it's something I think a lot about as I'm entering the years of my life where I'm considering having kids. And yeah, it's scary. It's like, you don't really, that's not something I had ever considered before, but yeah, now it's top of mind as something that just might be part of their life, whether they like it or not too, it's tricky.
Because it's kind of something, as you said, you can't really control, but you can control how you deal with it.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's been my approach from day one. I was really lucky to have some great friends, and I was really fortunate to go through that experience with a lot of support. And I think just the nature of how my parents raised me, I think, courageous. And I always kind of told myself, like, hey, this is just hair. I know that I'm strong and I'm smart and I can do anything I want to in this world. So whether I have hair or not, that doesn't affect any of that important stuff,
So, but at the age of, as a teenager, you were not a makeup artist at that stage.
No.
So how did you reconcile, or did you not really try and fit in at that point, or it was just trying to work it out more than anything?
I think it was trying to work it out. It was definitely coming to terms with the fact that this might not go away. I might have this for years and the hair might grow back. So it was, you're pretty powerless. So I kind of was learning even at that time to just kind of let go, and what's going to happen is going to happen. And I'm kind of along for the ride, which is really frustrating, but at the same time, just accepting that, I think, has helped me over the years as an adult come to terms with things as they happen in life, But at the time, yes, it was hard in high school. I think because I grew up in a small town, it wasn't quite as challenging, just because I was very close with a lot of kids in school. I played sports and I was also an art nerd. So I did a lot of art. And so I had friends from all different groups. And I always felt supported. I never felt ostracized really, or that people were cruel to me. Thankfully, the people in my town kind of just supported me, and I felt a lot of love,
which is brilliant.
Yeah,
and in some ways, that's what you're passing on.
Totally. Yeah, I hope so. I kind of feel personally that it's almost my responsibility in having that kind of experience rather than having a really negative one.
And hiding away.
Yeah, and because I had, like, it could have been worse. I have always kind of felt like it's my responsibility and my obligation to really pass it on to other people too, because it could have been a lot worse, and I could have been teased my whole life, and that would have been a lot harder. But because of the experience I've had and the courage that I have and the confidence, the self-confidence that I just have as a person, it's important to share that with other people that don't maybe have that, because it's been a long road to get there for me, but because that is my experience now, I feel that it's important to pass that along, hopefully.
Which is brilliant. So at what stage did you decide to become a makeup artist? And you studied psychology at university, is that correct?
Yes, yeah, good memory. I did. I studied psychology, and I specifically wanted to learn more about art therapy and how artistic expression fuels the soul and provides a therapeutic outlet for trauma and challenging experiences in general. So I learned a lot about that in college. I moved to Alaska for college. So I lived up there for a long time, and I loved it up there. It was a wonderful experience. I met so many lifelong friends that I still stay in touch with. And yeah, it was.
And Alaska, I have been there just on like a cruise.
Yeah, okay.
It is an outpost.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, you're pretty secluded from the rest of the world.
Do you know what surprised me is we came off the cruise ship or whatever.
Yeah.
And ordered some tacos, and they had like the spiciest sauce.
Really?
And I would have never thought.
You were expecting like no flavor. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, Alaska has actually underrated food too. I felt the food scene up in Alaska was wonderful, because there's people from all over the world that live there.
Right.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed my time there, and I learned a lot. And even though I didn't go on to pursue later degrees with psychology, I did kind of build that knowledge into what I'm doing now, which is, connecting women together and to really empower others and lift them up and help them understand that sometimes the challenges are actually our superpowers. So it's a bit of a blend of what I was doing all along.
I think women have to walk quite a tight line about. They don't have to, but society wants them to, because there's so much money to be made out of insecurity.
Yeah, true.
Makeup,
especially
makeup fixes you, fashion fixes you.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Like medication. It's all different types of medication, basically, isn't it?
Totally. Yeah, I completely agree. I feel strongly that those industries are lacking too, that they go about it in a very commercialized way, obviously, and instead of utilizing voices, oftentimes, and it's gotten better, but instead of elevating voices from those communities, a lot of times there will be a message attached to something that is also secretly attached to a sale, right? And so,
I guess because none of that stuff is essential, really.
Yeah, right.
So there's no problem to be solved. So that's kind of, you have to create the problem.
True. Yeah.
To then say, well, you need this.
Yeah. This will fix something.
But things have changed, that's sort of,
I agree.
Things like Abercrombie and Fitch and even Victoria's Secrets, all of those just so dated now.
Yeah.
They're having to, realign their brand with the way society
is moving.
Is moving, which is great.
I agree. It's progress,
and it's only happened in the last 5 years.
So yeah, agreed. It's very, very new still, but Yeah, it's exciting. I think it's headed in the right direction at least.
Do you want to describe what the makeup looks like at the moment?
Oh, I'm getting into the paint now. I did a quick wash of color on the eyes. We have some fun glitter that is just making me hold on to summer. I'm still in denial that it's getting colder.
It's summer every day in LA.
That's true. That's true. It's not technically cold here yet, but yeah. So my style is I really love bold, bright color. So that's kind of where we're starting. Here I'm using some bright teals and pinks. I really love contrasting, high contrast colors. So I'm just kind of bringing these two together, and I might make this just a one-sided look. We'll see.
I think that'd be great because then you can see the contrast as well.
Yeah, great. So how do you like LA so far? What's the first impression? What have you guys done? What do you still want to do?
It's such a relaxed place, and we stayed in Venice Beach for a couple of nights, which reminded me of the 90s like grunge era.
Totally. Yeah.
Which I quite liked because I was like, I'm a teenager again.
It's still quite lawless over there. It feels that way. Yeah.
It does. Yeah, it felt edgy.
Yeah.
But our little hotel kind of, you could walk straight out onto the beach.
Oh, good.
So we hired some bicycles and cycled up and down the bike path there.
Cool.
And no complaints at all. And then today we had a surf lesson.
Fun. Oh my gosh. How did you like it?
Really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm having some midlife crisis or something, trying all these things.
Yeah.
Later on in life.
Oh my gosh, it just sounds like your adventures are cool. That's what it sounds like to me.
I don't want to grow old, I think.
I love it.
And my daughter was really good on the surfboard, weren't you? You can come into the picture if you want. I told her to be quiet all the way through this.
There she is. Ta-da! There's
so much to do in LA, it's quite sort of exhausting thinking about it.
Yeah, we've lived here for about 4 years now, and we talk about it all the time. You could live here your entire life and still never even scratch the surface of the city. It's crazy.
And then today we just walked around and for lunch in this Italian place, just very locally, but there was this like costume shop around the corner, and it was incredible.
Wow.
Bushra, do you want to say what was in there? You want to talk?
Oh, well, there was lots of wigs and lots of costumes and lots of fake blood stuff.
Cool, just in time for Halloween.
So
yeah,
cool.
Well, I've never been in such a shop. There's so much variety. Yeah, so there's probably about 200 wigs in there.
Oh my gosh, wow. Something for everyone.
Loads of fake weapons. It was brilliant.
there was like the thing on the ground. There was like
Oh yeah, and then there was kind of glass on the ground, and there were kind of like skeletons under the floor.
Oh, interesting. That's cool.
Yeah, really cool.
I like it.
So what's the theme of my face?
Of your look?
Yeah.
I'm inspired by the shirt that you have on, the brightness. You have a lot of metallics happening, so I love that personally. I wanted to kind of contrast the dark color of your hair with some really bright colors. So these are all really, they're not neon, but they're like just brighter colors. It's kind of like a chartreuse, a little bit of teal. We have pink. Colors that'll really pop and contrast the depth of your hair. So also turn towards me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then do you want to talk a bit about your NFT collection? So basically
That's
we
right,
met at VCon,
right.
which was, when was that?
Oh my gosh, May?
Is it May? Yeah.
Is it May?
Yeah, May. So much has happened.
I know.
And we literally just kind of started chatting, going, "You look cool."
Yeah. I think we were complimenting each other's outfits, and then we got into the conversation about starting a project. And we were like, "Okay, we're gonna commit to both starting a project when we leave here." Okay, we're gonna hold each
We
other
were
to
actually
it.
going to do it like
Yeah.
by the end of the week.
Right.
That didn't quite happen, but we
Yeah.
we both did.
We both followed
We did,
through.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. Tell me about yours. Let's hear more about yours.
Well, I started off, I was doing my, immersive travel blog, which was kind of having little 3D snippets of places I'd been to. Some of it was through, 360 videos. Some of it was scanning. A lot of the time, it was just me building up like a world.
Cool.
And I have kind of different sections. One is to do with style, one is to do with taste, identity,
Cool.
all different things, and really mixing it up. But it was only, I actually was at a more of a crypto conference in Austin. And during that time, I just decided I'm going to create things to actually mint. So I had my worlds, but it was quite difficult to know. I really wanted to mint 3D, like 3D characters.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, talking about body paint, I love textile print. So
That's
I
your
created
background, right? Fashion.
well, fashion, yeah.
Yeah.
And I love color, like yourself.
Yeah.
So, because you just want to put, like, really express yourself in this, don't you? This is like your creative project. This is my creative project.
Totally.
So,
and it's ongoing. Because it's ongoing, it seems
it's a snapshot of something that you've been probably doing for like decades.
Totally. Yeah.
And it's, and it will carry on.
Yeah.
So and I love things to do with the body, and I don't know, beautification or just playing around with it.
Yeah.
So I created these prints, and I dragged them onto the skin of the bodies, and created little kind of sort of, I don't know, they were in some energy vortex to do with flowers and flora and fauna of the places I've been to. So I'm into those. I have to say, I didn't do much marketing, so they kind of, but it was kind of an exploration of going through the process.
Yeah.
And that's kind of led me to actually, when you say for me, I do a lot of multidisciplinary work. It's quite difficult to platform it.
Yeah.
And then it's quite difficult to sell it because it doesn't fit in any traditional genre.
Right. Totally. So describing it and categorizing it.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
How long do you have?
Yeah.
That's usually what I say. 100 different things.
And I think with immersive work as well, even big tech find it difficult to really distribute it out. Do you need a VR headset? Do you not need it? Does it work on whatever browser?
Sure.
All these different things. Do you need an app? Do you not need an app? It makes it very, there's so many barriers to it. And so I'm kind of trying to bring down those barriers, but not reduce the creativity, because how do I put it? Like, we know that things like Roblox and Minecraft do really well, and they're basically open world, but it's not the style of my 3D work at all. Like, why should I have to compromise?
Totally.
Like, I'm doing this to be creative, then why should I have to compromise that?
I felt the exact same thing with my project. I felt the pressure almost in seeing so many other projects that looked different than mine, that were digitally drawn or created characters.
It's just different. It's just different, like that. I could do it that way, but that's not the point of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like that kind of defeats the purpose, right?
Yeah.
That's like the whole point, is to bring your original style, what makes you different.
And it's quite hard not to do your own style. Like, that takes a lot more of an effort.
Oh yeah.
So how, I know you've already got a huge fan base already on Instagram. How many followers do you have?
I think
fan base, community.
Community. They're my it's I think on Instagram it's 130 something. I think we have 134, maybe 34,000. Yeah. Yeah,
which is amazing.
they're incredible people. I am grateful to have them in my life every day. They're the reason that I'm able to work in this way too, and to really transition from working on clients to now just working on myself and fully being a creator full time. I wouldn't be able to do that without my community.
And how did you build that community up? And this was before NFT. This was just you were spreading your word of love, really.
Yeah, this is over. Oh, that's so sweet. It was basically this has been growing over the past, I would say, 5 or 6 years. Ever since I knew I wanted to go to makeup school, I created an Instagram account, and every time I would do wedding makeup on friends, I would post a little something. And this is back also when Instagram was different. You could really reach people differently back then. So I've been creating at least in that space, in the Instagram space, for years now. So over time, as my career evolved, I moved to Canada to go to makeup school, and the community came with me and they experienced that with me. And when I met my partner, Wade, they were with me. Everyone met him together. So it's been really cool to have kind of.
So that's about the makeup. They followed your journey.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a little bit of both, because it always was there's a central theme of the makeup, and people were asking questions. They were asking for tips and tricks, and how do I do this? And I want to go to makeup school. How did you get started? And I was always open with sharing that information. I have always felt that a lot of people are very secretive and protective of some of that stuff. And I have always been like, ask me anything. If I have the hours in the day, I will share it. Please, I'm an open book. That's been my perspective. Just my personal perspective. And so I think that was hopefully helpful and useful for people. So as I shared my journey, I was learning along the way, I was also sharing some of that with the community. So a lot of my followers on Instagram have gone on to become makeup artists.
Oh, fantastic.
We've shared,
Inspired people.
Yeah, we've gotten to share that experience together. So it's that's, again, my community is everything to me. So it has been quite a journey now educating about Web3 and the whole space and the idea and everything about NFTs is a hard concept for, I think, a lot of people to wrap their heads around still, especially coming from the social media landscape, where why can I not just look at this online for free? That is a lot of the feedback I'm getting is, what is this? So it's describing my community, talking about what we're building long term. There's so much education. So that's kind of the phase we're in now, is really breaking that down and describing long term what Renegade means, what being a part of that community means, all that.
Yeah, I mean, Web3 has gone very quiet, or NFTs have gone very quiet. I believe in I believe in both, but I think it's like really evolving right now. So
yeah,
definitely. I mean, in some ways it's good that there's probably slightly less adoption, because it allows for a lot of innovation.
Sure.
And it means that people don't have to like relearn.
Yeah.
While things are like not completely, established.
Sure.
There's a lot of flexibility.
Yeah, a lot of change.
It's a lot of change. I believe in things being of ownership, and there is a real problem in the creative world.
Yeah.
About who owns what, especially in fashion. Fashion is very secretive, but everyone copies everybody.
Totally. Yeah. It is, but it isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I was noticing downstairs in the hotel.
Yeah.
NFT art. Is that why you chose this hotel?
No, I didn't actually. Yeah. So there's
so cool. I walked in and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
So basically, in the foyer of this hotel called Dreams Hotel, they are exhibiting loads of NFT work, and it's called like the Crypt Gallery.
Yeah.
It's by one collector. It seems like he's got about, I don't know, like 100 NFTs.
Yeah. Quite a collection.
Yeah. So it's got like tiny little videos, loads of little video screens.
Yeah.
And they're circulating the NFTs.
I need to explore it more on my way out, because I want to learn more. But I was
thinking you could have yours like a big face, and the whole face could just keep changing.
Yeah. Well, it could be all the different characters, flashing through all the different characters, because mine is a series of 31 characters right now. So the way that we're actually releasing our project is very different from most NFT projects that drop all at once. We're releasing a new one every day for 31 days. So what's today, the 18th, I think, when we're recording this. So we've done 18 so far, and we have several more still to go. So it's been an interesting style of dropping them, because we're not dropping them all at once. Most people who are following the project are waiting to join until they see all the looks, because they want to see
which is their favorite,
which one really connects to them. And all the characters that we've made have really complex personality traits and characteristics that basically are like the attributes of what they stand for. So we have like, instead of Cruella DeVille, we have Kindella DeVille. And so she's Cruella's counterpart, who's actually really nice. And my plan is to do workshops that support that message and have really everything built out around each of these characters and what they stand for long term.
Wow.
So it's but it's a slow build, and I actually prefer it that way, because it gives me more time to really explain this whole thing to my community and to people in Web3 who are finding this project and seeing how different it is. It's not just a regenerative style project.
Well, I think it's because you built your community up over a very long period. It's never going to be sort of pump and dump kind of thing. It just doesn't work. Like, they have an expectation. Like, you're maintaining a relationship from way before.
Yeah, and I'm kind of the conduit into the space for a lot of them. They're asking me, what does NFT stand for? So a lot of people in my community are really just getting started with the basics of this space. So it's exciting and also a lot of work on my end to kind of, bring them into the space and hopefully help with some education and be a resource for them, and also encourage them to just learn. Like, this is a really exciting, pretty wild kind of technology.
Definitely Wild West.
It is Wild West, 100%. But the technology, I really believe in the root of the technology and what it can mean long term for so many different industries, for artists, for creators. Like, for me, being able to have something that is independent, that is different from and lives independently from Instagram and social media. The social media space is a really heavy space to work in. And I, frankly, I'm always at the mercy of these platforms and the changes that they make. And it's really sometimes a tumultuous place to be and to read comments, and that it feels heavy sometimes. So to really pour my heart and soul into a space that I want to build for the next 30 years, and to be a part of the changing technology long term, that's what I'm most excited about.
Being right at the forefront. I do think it's the future, and it's the creative space hasn't really, it's been traditional for so long. There's been no innovation for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Really, I know.
It doesn't make any sense, and it's so, like, the power dynamic is so wrong.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's what I felt at VCon, is that here we are with all these brilliant, just like-minded, bold people. And for me, that was so energizing, having felt a lack of that in, I'm in a very creative city here in Los Angeles, but I still hadn't connected with people on that level really ever. It was a magical experience. I know for me, it was a lot. I had to take breaks. I know we talked about that. We had to kind of decompress afterwards. This is a lot. But
every night I'm like, I don't want to talk to anybody.
Honestly, anything too much. But at the same time, feeling that there was this magnetic energy in the air, right? It was like the conversations we were having, at least for my partner Wade and I, it was really, really exciting to feel like you were part of building something together. And a lot of us are learning in real time. We're collaborating, we're finding ways to meet.
And actually, there's so many people I met who are like, I'm kind of thinking about, or I've been working on my creative project for a while, and
Yeah.
this is the way I want to push it out into the world.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of side projects, which I really love because people are so passionate about, like, their whole life is their side project.
Yeah.
And it was basically the side project energy.
Yeah.
You know? The escape, the really inspired 20% of their life was at VCon.
Totally. Yeah, I felt that as well.
Yeah, so exciting.
Yeah. The whole space it's also nerve-wracking because it moves so fast. I feel the pace of it and the pressure to keep up with it. And I just have to remind myself that, you know, everyone is in a different stage of this journey, and there's no right or wrong way to do it. But the main thing is, I think, staying true to yourself and really maintaining authenticity and doing it the way you want to do it, not because you see it done another way.
Well, there's no point. This is not this is about your one's creative outlet and adventure.
Yeah.
So what are you doing now? Do you want to describe that?
Yeah.
Right
Okay.
now?
Yeah. If you're listening in, we are maybe 3/4 of the way done. I'm adding in some really colorful purple teeth that I'm going to outline with a really cool color here, but I'm just adding these around her mouth. I've always really related to skulls and skeletons. I don't know why, but I love them. I can't get enough. If I could do my face like this every day, I would do it. I guess I can.
You can.
I guess I can. There's no rule saying I can't, but this is a bit of almost like a vibrant skeleton look that we're doing. I've always found it really fascinating how humans have relationships with things that are kind of scary and kind of dark, like death. And I think they're always seen in such a negative way. And I think always like push myself to find the positive in it.
So I guess it's certain cultures, traditionally Western cultures are you know, it is macabre, it is the darkness, but many of the Eastern cultures, it's more about the next chapter, new beginnings.
Yeah, tell me more about that if you wouldn't mind.
I am no expert at all. I think death is always, it's always going to be sad, isn't it? We always have, grief is something which is unavoidable. I mean, do you believe in God?
I'm not sure.
Do you believe in the afterlife or something else?
Yes. Yeah, 100%. Spirit, like
so I didn't mean God. I mean, there's
or
something
universe or whatever.
Energy.
Yes, definitely something more than us.
Yeah. So I guess similarly for me, I have a kind of, there's some energy. Well, it can never be created or destroyed, so it's got to go somewhere.
Sure.
Maybe, yeah. And we've all experienced probably supernatural, unexplained things. And if we bring all of that into the next chapter or death, I find it easier to deal with than maybe some of the stories told in religious books.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm quite a skeptic, I have to say, as a person. I don't really like being like that.
But you recognize that about yourself.
Oh yeah. I have I've got science training, so I think it just like kicks in.
Yeah.
I'm kind of talking at the same time as makeup being put on near my lips.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're doing great multitasking.
Can I take a photo and post it to Twitter?
Yeah, great. Yeah, absolutely.
Is this possible?
Do you want me to? Let me finish the teeth.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely. Let's do that.
I've gone quiet.
I know. I'll do the talking. Okay. So I'm.
Oh, I was gonna say I loved the video on your website. It made me cry because it's like a romantic story about Wade and you, and I was just like, he's so lovely. You guys such a cute couple.
He's the sweetest. He is the best. He is truly. And funny enough, the day that he was coming over to Vancouver, the ferry was completely booked, so he couldn't get on the ferry. And he reached out to the seaplanes. The seaplanes were completely booked. He couldn't get over. And so his last ditch effort was he found this helicopter company that was like a private helicopter company. And he reached out to them and he had all of his filming gear. He said, hey, I have to go meet this girl and I have never met, but there's this like kind of crazy electric chemistry. We're both from Montana. I need to meet this woman.
Oh my God, I'm crying. Like makeup's ruined. Session's over.
So he pitched them on the spot that he would make them a marketing video in exchange for a quick flight over to Vancouver so that he could meet me. And
how can you say no after that?
They were like, we don't do this. This is a really weird request, but okay, in the name of love, we'll give you a ride. So they give him a ride over to Vancouver and we met, and it was like, it sounds so cliche and lame, but it was like immediate connection. It was like, just, this is it. I get it. I get what people, mean when they say that you find that person.
Shit, that's so romantic.
It was the best. And that was 5 years ago. So we just got engaged in April of this past spring up in Canada where we met.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We're really excited. We're excited to get married. So it's been a wild journey. We've been working and creating together ever since. 5 years later, I just haven't
so and also working and being partners.
Oh, everything in regards to our production, in regards to Renegade. Wade and I were staying up until 3-4 in the morning just coming up with these concepts, and I would say something and I would say, what's your feedback on this? Does this work? Does this not work? We need, honestly, to start a podcast because the conversations we have probably 8 or 9 times throughout the day are like heavy conversations about life, about work, about creative concepts that we do and don't want to make. And we could go on forever. It's just, I don't know if we have the time right now, but we have a really unique relationship to where we work better together. And a lot of people, I think it's a struggle to work together in certain environments.
Yeah.
Wade and I are do better working together.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's a really unique thing.
So I guess because you never thought that would be the outcome, because you're meeting a guy or whatever, and now you're
completely no, I had no idea this was coming into my life. Yeah, thank goodness it did though. Oh my gosh, yeah, he has completely changed my life.
Oh
yeah, I'm a very lucky girl.
I'm sure he feels the same way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're a good team. We're very different actually. We have a lot of opposite traits. I'm a little bit more of an introvert. I could sit inside all year long. Not inside, but I'm a little bit more of an overthinker, which is ironic because the look today, the NFT we dropped, was called Brainiac, all about not overthinking. But that is very much so my personality. I'm a Libra, and Wade is very outspoken. He's the life of the party, very social, very just outgoing. That's him.
Yeah.
So we are very different in a lot of ways,
I'm kind of a bit of a both, but I am definitely overthinker all the time.
Yeah, me too.
And people stop overthinking. I wish I could.
It's hard. If only you knew. Yeah, really. I know, it's easier said than done. What do you think so far?
It's so cool.
Isn't that fun? I love the colors.
Yeah, it's amazing. So do you think there's a message in this makeup?
I think it's boldness, and also I like that we did half of the face because the other half is very much so purely you know what I mean? You still get to see your face. It's not a mask character,
Yeah.
And that's something about makeup that I really value is its ability to kind of transform how you feel.
Yes.
Like it's really special, whether it's lipstick, whether it's just a little lipstick, or whether it is a whole look that we create from the chest to the neck to the head, the kind of work that I do. I put myself into those characters that take 8-9 hours to create. And it is like,
it's transformational from the inside.
Honestly, I think for me in my journey with alopecia and hair loss, it's been more therapeutic and healing than I probably even realized. Because just channeling all of my emotion into pieces like that, it's really powerful. You know, even like this, you would probably walk through the street and just like want to show, you know, just lean into that.
I wish I had a party to go to.
Yeah, honestly. Darn it, you're gonna wash this off and go to bed.
I just sleep with it and there'll be an imprint on the pillow.
There you go. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I love it. It's so fun. I can add a little more detail. We've got a few more little things, but.
So where will your NFT project go next? Because it's always, because you had the community first.
Yeah.
So it's never really about the photos.
No.
You know, where is it going to go next?
Yes. So our plan for evolving this into kind of the next phase is to really build out these attributes. So, you know, even today, like Brainiac, not, you know, being mindful and not overthinking, but being mindful at the same time, all about thought. We're going to have these workshops where we have different mentors come in for women, and we're providing a space where women can network and really connect. There's a lot of people in the alopecia community, but beyond, that always ask me questions about business and how do I get started doing this? And I would love to get into this. Do you have any tips? So I really want Renegade to be a place where they can meet like-minded people and hopefully connect and lift each other up. So it's going to be a series of workshops that you can attend by being a part of Renegade, by having an NFT, a Renegade NFT. And also I'm going to be doing lots and lots of makeup workshops. So teaching holders how to recreate their character on themselves. We're going to be sending out some prints eventually. We have a whole line of merchandise coming. But more importantly, we are giving back a percentage to the alopecia community. So to hopefully fund more creative workshops for the alopecia community. Cool. One piece of feedback I get from parents a lot is that kids are going to school with alopecia and they have either alopecia areata, which means just bald spots kind of form over time, and it's a patchiness. You know, they go to school and there's a crazy hair day or all these themed days, and kids don't often feel like they can participate. So my hope is that through workshops, we can really provide a creative outlet and an expression for, I mean, kids and adults alike, but for everyone to really see the power in creativity through makeup artistry like this.
Yeah.
Not just a lipstick, you know, but a little bit tapping into a deeper creative side of things. So maybe you could paint the bald spots for Crazy Hair Day, or so that's the goal. In long term, we have a set of 5 rare NFTs that drop exclusively on Sundays throughout this month. The rares are a little bit more involved, and the owners of the rare NFTs are going to work with me to build Renegade makeup line. Goodness. So we're working on face and body paints, eyelashes for people with alopecia. And I always kind of tread lightly on making this like such an alopecia focused project, because it is for alopecia awareness at the foundation, because that's what I care so deeply about. And that's been my experience, but it's not exclusive to, you know, people with alopecia. So I really want it to just be empowering and hopefully uplifting and encouraging as a space in general for women and men, and any person who feels that they don't fit into, you know, the beauty standards and just society's standards that we've all lived with for so long, and they want to do things a little bit differently. My whole saying for years has been different is dope. And I lean into that, whether it's my clothing, my makeup choices, the hat that I wear, the way that I present a project to the world. I lean into doing it differently because I really genuinely believe that message impacts people more than we even know. We need to see different.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree with you. And I think that's like, you know, I think that's why we were drawn to each other that day.
Yeah, totally. I agree. Completely agree. Yeah, and there's a lot of, I think there's a lot of people who are interested in that and want to be able to express themselves in that way, but maybe have never had a space or a community where they felt welcomed. And I know growing up in a small town in rural Montana, that was kind of my experience. Is everyone looks very similar. There's a cowboy hat and there's jeans and cowboy boots, and that's a lot of what it is. And that for me, as I've grown up and really discovered who I am as a person, I identify with weird things that aren't that and that don't fit into that world, especially.
I saw on Twitter about something about hands up to the weirdos.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I fully embrace, like if someone called me a weirdo, I would be like, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yes, I represent that 100%.
Persia, is mummy a weirdo?
Yay! Amazing.
I think it's so difficult to be, if you're a nonconformist person, like it's just not in our DNA, is it?
I think in general, people
It's not in anybody's DNA.
People want to fit in. Yeah. And even if it's not fitting in, you want to fit in with a group of people who believe the same things, right?
Yeah. And it's probably easier to be different in places like London and LA.
I will absolutely speak to that, because I feel like I really stepped into who I really truly am moving to Los Angeles. Like I have really found myself moving to this city because there is such an eclectic representation of just people in general. And in seeing that, it's really freeing. It's empowering to know that you can show up in this world however you want to. And that really at the core, you are just who you are. And however you choose to express that, that's up to you. You don't need to ask permission. You don't need to have designer fancy clothes. If you like that and that's how you like to express it yourself, more power to you. But there's no rules for that. And we make those rules as a society. So I think it's important to at least explore finding that core kind of like primal part of you. Like, how do you like to show up? For me, it's checkered pants and it is crazy makeup and eyelashes that are way too long. And just that's how I feel the most bold version of myself personally. And I think that artistic expression has always been tied to humans in how we express our individuality. So makeup is just another form of that.
Yeah, you're inspiring me to be a bit more expressive. I love fashion. I love getting dressed up when I have something to go to.
Yeah.
But I'm a bit like, I don't make the time for it.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because I'll watch makeup, videos online. I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
As a sort of therapeutic thing to watch. And obviously, I love how you express yourself as well. And
I part of it is, it's ease of use and it's education too.
Yeah, if I knew how to do it,
totally.
I would do it.
Totally. And I get that feedback a lot. Like, I would love to do your crazy makeup, but I could never. And I'm always like, yes, you can. You totally can. Watch a quick tutorial of mine. They're, less than 5 minutes long, and you can do, if I can do it, you can do it. You know what I mean? I grew up in the middle of nowhere, and I'm not some prolific artist. I just really like to blend colors together and put them on my face, honestly. So that's really
so modest.
That's the foundation of it, though. It really is that simple. And so if you do want to explore expressing yourself in more bold,
because I do paint. Yeah. It's the same thing, isn't it? You're using brushes, you're using colors.
So really, education is so much of it. And like with Renegade, that's what I want to do. I want to talk about brushes. Brushes are a huge part. If I just had 2 brushes here, I couldn't do what I just did. I used probably 18 different brushes to create this for different techniques and different flows and different products. Like, it all matters, but I've been learning that for years. It's just practice, But yeah, I have gotten more into fashion. Funny art. I'm more interested in your world these days, because I think in 2021, maybe last year, is when I really started leaning into just wearing whatever I wanted to wear. And I stopped caring about the influencers on Instagram and what was trendy.
Yeah.
And I truly just started putting together outfits that I thought were cool based on my personal just visual relationship. I was like, oh, I actually love mixing patterns. Checkers with tiger stripes, with paint splatters, with a bold color, like mix and mash all the patterns together. That's what I like. I like it to be kind of confusing to the eye and also still have a contrast of bright colors. But the color, I love color theory. So if there's a way to mix that into fashion, I'm really inspired to like make it match the makeup or go with it. And it's all kind of
Really enjoying the styling aspect of it.
totally. I love it. I love it.
No, it's really fun.
Mhm.
Yeah, because you're so inspiring to talk to you.
Oh man, I am just I think turning 30 had something to do with it. I turned 30 last year, and I just felt this sense of excitement, and it was kind of the opposite thing that I thought I would feel. I think I thought I would feel like, oh my gosh, I'm getting old. I want to get old.
Me.
But that's how I thought I would feel, and I turned 30, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the best. I know who I am. This is me. I'm finally not fighting myself. For whatever reason, turning 30 was like this, it was this clarity year for me of just understanding what I was working towards, what I really wanted to represent. And if I was taken off this earth, you know, tomorrow, what would I want to leave? And what am I wasting? Why am I caring about designer brands and doing makeup that is trendy? I could care less about that. I want to do the makeup that makes me happy and that inspires me and hopefully other people. But that is truly it at its core. And that, I don't know why, but at 30, it clicked for me. And I started just leaning into my weirdness. And the deeper I've gone into my relationship with it, the more I think
it's self-acceptance, isn't it? Accepting. Rather than going, that's my dark side, or that's my good side, and you know, these sort of, again, very biblical or you know, religious terms.
Sure.
Sort of just kind of going, actually, I'm a human being.
Yeah.
I enjoy doing these things.
Totally.
I make mistakes. It's okay. Let
Yeah.
me just live, let me just live and enjoy my life.
And what have I got to lose? You know, what is the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen if you wear crazy makeup out into the street for everyone to see is someone says, I don't like your makeup. And then you go on with your day. And they are fine and everybody's fine. And you've still taken the bold decision to be authentic. Like that, once I don't know what changed, it just was an evolution, I think, in myself, to be more gentle with myself and just really be authentically like, this is what I want to do. And I have just been doing it.
Fantastic. And that is a great place to finish.
Thank you so much for having me. This is so much fun. And I'm so happy that you're here in LA. I'm so glad you guys get to be here and explore a little bit. What an adventure.
Thank you so much, Abby. Thank you for making the time.
Of course. Yay. Now we're going to take some pictures.
I'm going to take some photos. So I shall come out of the Twitter space. Thank you to anyone who's listened, and I'll be posting the video, which actually stopped working in the middle of it as well. I lost connection.
That's okay. I took a time lapse too, so we'll have something.
That's fine. Cool.
Yay. Awesome. That's so fun. I love just talking like that. I don't get to just go off like that and just, I enjoy that a lot.
Oh, I think my Twitter space is off at some point as well.
Oh, did it?
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if there's a time limit to it.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, well, everything died.
Hey, we're experimenting.
Yeah.
That's so fun. If I could, I would keep going for another 2 hours.
I hope I'm still not on.
Okay.
It's so long.
No, I'm on here, so I shall stop there.
Nice.